Hi everyone, here's another stand-up loaded bag flip, and I designed a different design this time, and then you can see it stands up like so. The paper collection is by King Company. I was lucky to have found this 12 by 12 paper pad at Tuesday Morning by Brenda Walton. I always loved her design papers with King Company, and I was so happy to have found this there. And I'll put the number and the information in the description box down below, so check your Tuesday Morning for that. And so here's another design that I created. These are so fun to make. I even joined a Facebook group by Anna, and I'll put her Facebook group link down below if you want to join. A lot of ladies show their loaded envelopes and bags that they created, and they're just really pretty ones that everyone's creating. So I'm going to show at the end of this video how to make this one. So this one I loaded is pretty simple. Again, you can just add whatever you want in these things. I know a lot of ladies have different themes that they create, and this one I just add little things here and there. So the front of the pocket, this is a Dear Lizzie bow die that I used, and this is my favorite Martha Stewart butterfly punch. I used an edge die of these really pretty butterflies from a, let's see here if I have it, oh here I have it. It's this die that I picked up on eBay, which I'd shared on one of my prior videos. Let's see if we can find it here. It's a really cute die. It's this one right here. These really pretty butterflies. So that's what I use there. And then inside, I made another shaker. This one says Beautiful Friend. So I just cut one of the 12 by 12 sheets into a 3 by 4 card, and then just added some sequins and some beads. This is a Tim Holtz glassine bag I filled with some die cuts. And this is a Spellbinders card and envelope set die. Let's see here. This one is the part of that Dear Lizzie bow die set. I made a ribbon. This is a Brenda Walton die, and then this is a cute little stamp set by Tim Holtz. Those cute little birds. Let's see here. This is a favor box of an owl. So I just kind of put it together. I add the adhesive and everything, but it's not assembled. But it's ready to go. Here I made a pocket with a faux card. I have a video tutorial on this, and I'll put that link down below as well. And then I just added some spare parts gold arrow charms from Hobby Lobby. Here I made some tags using the design paper, and then I found these tags at Tuesday Morning. And then I just added some heart paper clips and some Prima twine on top. So you can see here it creates a double pocket. So here's the first pocket, and then the back is the second pocket. Okay, now the top one I made another pocket, and I just added this bow here, and I believe this is from my Creative Times, and then this is another Martha Stewart butterfly punch. This tassel is from Hobby Lobby, and so it just closes like so, and then inside's another pocket, and I put a card in here. So I made this card using my envelope punch board, and so that's the other pocket, and then the back is the larger pocket, and that's where I put some paper clips from Hobby Lobby, and I just created this jumbo tag so you can fill in the larger pocket with some goodies. And then this is where it stands up. So the bag flips up. You can put, again, a photo, and you can put another plain cardstock and just write your message, and it stands up. So instead of the bag being on the back, the bag's now in the front. So I would recommend, I still have to cover the back of this one. I would recommend to use a lighter weight chipboard along with your design paper, because of the weight of the bag. It will hold it up much better. versus it just being design paper. It won't be as strong to hold it up. So that's how you make it. Really fun. So I'm going to show you how to make one of these. So these are really addicting to make. And, you know, again, you can make this with so many different themes. You can use all your dies and everything that you have, which is great. I went ahead and pre-cut all the papers. I'll give you all the measurements and we'll put this one together. So for the bag, you're going to need one 12 by 12 sheet. This Brenda Walton design paper is double-sided, which makes it really nice. So I decided to have this side facing out. So what you're going to do is you're going to score, again this is a 12 by 12 sheet, you're going to score at 3 1/4, and then you're going to score at 9. And then you're going to turn, and then you're going to score at 8 1/2. Okay, now you want to make sure, because the way this folds up, because this, as you can see, is going to be the pocket, you'll notice when you put it together that the paper kind of buckles up. What I do is I just make sure that when I am scoring the scored lines, that you want to make sure it's all nice and crisp. So that's what I do, especially if the cardstock or the design paper is a little thicker, on the thicker side. Just score it really, nice here. And then you just, and see, you'll notice how it starts to buckle up a little bit. That's okay. So what I do is I just hold it down, and then I just do this to get as much flat as I possibly can. And that looks pretty good. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to add some adhesive on this side, because you'll notice one side is a little bit bigger than the other. It's about 1/4 inch. I made that to where you're able to put either 1/4 inch double-sided tape. Today in this video I'm just going to use some wet glue, but of course I would recommend double-sided tape. Well, you know, I'll just use double-sided tape, only because you are going to fill in the bag with something. So this is some Prima double-sided 1/4 inch tape. So you're going to add that as closest to the edge as you can. Okay, and then you're just going to peel this out. Okay, and then just lay it flat, and then you're going to flip this up, and you'll get something like this. Okay, so you got your larger pocket and you got your smaller pocket. Okay, now to create the second pocket on the back, you're going to need 2 additional side pieces, and this measures 2 by 3 1/2. On the 2-inch side, you're going to score it 1/2 inch, and then 1 inch, and then 1 1/2 inch. Okay, and then you're going to do a mountain valley mountain fold. Okay, and again, just fold those score lines. Take your bone folder and make sure it's nice and crisp there and flat. And I do cut the edges at an angle. It just makes it easier when I'm adding this, so it doesn't get too bulky. And then you're just going to lay it with the folded side facing out. So let's add some, I'm going to use some, actually let's use double-sided tape. I use double-sided tape. I'm going to do on both sides. Let's do it to the other one. The other piece here. Okay, and then we'll just add this And this creates the second pocket. So we're just going to line that up to the edge. Okay, I'm going to do the same with this one. I cut my nails, so it's hard for me to peel it. Okay, get as close as to the edge as possible. Okay, so you got something like that. And then you're going to peel this. And then you're going to fold it down. Okay, and then you got your two pockets now. You got the front, and then you got the back. And the back is, you can see it's an expandable pocket. Okay, so you got that, and then you could decorate the front however you want. Now I did add another pocket on top. So that piece is 7 3/4 wide, and you're going to score that at 1/2 inch, and then 1 inch. 6 3/4 and 7 1/4, and then this side is 5 1/2, and you're going to score that at 5. So this is the top, and then this is the bottom. So the bottom is going to be scored at 5. What you're going to do is you're going to cut the 2 tabs on each side. So we're going to cut these 2 tabs out, and then I just cut a little angle here. Do the same on this side, and cut that out. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to do a valley mountain fold. Okay, so let's make sure those are nice and folded flat. And again, a valley mountain fold. And then I'm going to fold this down. Okay, so you'll get something like this. Okay, so let's add some tape to that. And then I'm going to add some to this flap, so let's fold that up, and then add to there at the bottom. Okay, so let's peel these out. Make sure this is flat. Press that down. I'm going to peel this one out. Okay, and then you're going to line the top of this to the top of this, and it should fit nicely. So let's line that up. I do one end first. And then we're going to do this end. Okay, so it should sit nicely like so. Okay, it fits exactly where the bottom of the pocket should be. Okay, so you got that. So now that creates the smaller pocket in the front, and then you got your larger pocket in the back. Now what we're going to do is create a little flap. So this measures 2.5 by 5 3/4. On the 2.5 side, you're going to score it at 1/2 inch. You're going to cut the two ends at an angle, and then you're going to corner around the bottom here. I use the 1/2 inch side on my We Are Memory Keepers corner punch. So I got a much more larger, rounder edge here. And then you're just going to fold that 1/2 inch side, okay? Now I did make 2 of these small little reinforcers here, just using my punches. And you're going to need a 1/8 circle punch and then a 5/8 circle punch. And how I do that is I just, here, let me show you on a piece of paper. I punch the paper first, and then I take my 5/8 circle punch and make sure that circle is within the center, and then I punch. And then you can see here. I also have a die. If you have the die from Tim Holtz, it's that envelope die. He has the die cuts on the die to make these, if you have that. But this is one way you could do it with just 2 punches. Okay? So I'm not going to add it on there, but what you would do is basically add it in the center, like so. You would put it in the middle, and then I just poked a brad through, and that's how I created that. Okay, so now what you're going to do for this flap is you're going to add some adhesive here. So this one I actually use glue. It gives me more leverage to wiggle the paper a little bit if I needed to. Because once you set that tape, it's stuck. Especially when it's a really nice strong tape. So now what you're going to do is you're not going to add it to the first pocket. You're going to add it to the middle, basically the middle piece right here, which is the front of the bag. Okay, so you're going to just slide that in. Fold it down, and then you press. Okay, and that makes the flap for the front pocket. Oops. Yeah, a little bit more glue on that. Okay, so that makes the flap for the front pocket. Okay, and then of course before you actually add the flap, you're going to add, well, because you already have this there, and then you want to line up this right underneath it. So I usually take a pen and I just mark a little mark there, and then before I adhere the flap, that's when I just take a paper piercer, because my punch will not go all the way down. So I just poke a hole using, it's this Tim Holtz paper piercer thing I have. I just poke it with this. Okay? Or you can use your the Big Bite, if you have the Big Bite. Okay, oops, you know, I didn't add enough glue, so that thing came off. Do that again. Maybe sticky tape would be better. There we go. Okay, that's better. Okay, so then now you have your bigger pocket. Okay. All right. So now for the back flip, you're going to need, this is, let's see here, 5 3/4 by 9, and then on the 9-inch side you're going to score it 1/2 inch. Okay, and then you're going to add your double-sided tape to that, and again you're going to want to add maybe a lightweight chipboard, or maybe double up your design paper if it's a nice thick design paper, because this is on the back. This is optional, you don't even have to add this, but the only way it's going to stand up is if you add this piece. Okay, and then just add it to the back. So just line it up. Okay, and then that's how it stands up. See, with the paper it's obviously not going to hold up, so you'll need something much more thicker in the back. Okay, so that's how you make it. I hope you give it a try, and I really enjoyed making this. Here it is again. I mean, once you decorate it and put stuff inside and embellish it, it's really cute. So thanks everyone for watching. Bye.